Podcast. I am your host, Joel Lopez. If you're enjoying the content, please like, squish, smash, and pulverize those like and follow buttons. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Back at it again with the college football edition of the Reggie Keys Podcast with my boy Ricky. Ricky, baby.
Joe Lopez, good to see you, man.
Missed last week because feeling under the weather. I couldn't do it.
It's okay. I was gonna do it and just be like Kobe, give me the ball and let me score and do it. Just play one-on-one, do it all myself. But I'm a team player.
I appreciate that. Yeah. It's like Shaq and Kobe. It's like, Kobe could have handled it, but it's a team game.
Team game.
I was actually looking so I think I was feeling fine, and then we had waited because the college football playoff had just come out with their first week. So it's like, oh, let's wait until they do it. And then once that time came.
Yeah, once you realize UCLA wasn't in the top four, you were very disappointed.
I was sick.
Yeah, you were sick.
I was literally sick. So we missed last week, but it's all good. It was still rolling. Let's start with the last week's game. Michigan State getting upset by Purdue. The final score was 40-29. I mean,
so number one, you never liked Michigan State.
I did not.
Number two, they were number three, and a lot of people can make a case that there were some referee calls that helped them. And now that they lost, what's interesting is that they ranked Michigan ahead of Michigan State, even though Michigan State beat Michigan. Mm-hmm. So that part I don't like, because now you're dictating whether the referees make a good call or not. And are you telling me now that head-to-head don't matter? Because if it don't, Ohio State needs to be ahead of Oregon right now, because they are the better team, and Oregon beat them, so they should be ranked ahead, because that should be a tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to lay off something interesting. I mean, we're not talking about the top four yet.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State runs the table and Oregon runs the table. The better resume will be Ohio State's by far, but Oregon beat them.
Yeah. It's crazy to think like we've been doing this for a while, but we're coming on like the stretch run now, right? We just got like 3-4 weeks left.
Mm-hmm.
All these games matter, like they always mattered, and now it's just the spotlight is on and it's getting hot. You're right. I never liked Michigan State. I don't know what it like. I just watched them in that Miami game.
Neither does a college football poll.
And I had seen.
You don't like them either, apparently.
Yeah, I had seen them. I might have seen them a few other times, and it was aside from the running back, who was like, wow, this kid looks really special.
He's good.
It's hard to watch that.
That's Walker. He's good.
Kenneth Walker, the third, right? Yeah, I don't even know his name. It's like, hey, you see the kid exploding through the lines, like, oh yeah, that's that running back from Michigan State, man. He's something else.
They lost to Purdue.
I think they could score, right? But man,
that Purdue has the most wins of any team in the country when they're unranked of top 5 teams that they've beaten. I think it's like 17 that they've knocked off.
I mean, but the Big 12 has, or the Big 10 has how many teams in there? 14 teams. They get ranked.
Well, they get overrated.
That's what I mean.
I'm about to say, because remember, Iowa was ranked number 3, and I was like, you're kidding me.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like, you have teams like Iowa.
So they can knock off Iowa. They can knock off Michigan State. And they can knock off Ohio State. Ohio State coming up.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking in general. I see you're actually going off the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Big 12, the Big 10. I haven't seen like a lot. I mean, aside from Ohio State this year, where it's like, oh, this will be the team. Wisconsin's a little bit disappointing this year.
Well, they're playing good now because the hard part of their schedule is done. They're 6-3 now.
Let's move over here to the Auburn A&M game. 20-3. Texas
A&M's
A&M over
defense
Auburn.
is suffocating right now.
Auburn's a good football team.
They're not bad at all. The defense is just, I mean, so Georgia's got the best defense in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a case for A&M being number 2.
Total.
Who's got a better defense than Texas A&M that you've seen?
I'm trying to think. I can't think of one because the thing. Well, Penn State.
A better defense.
Mm-hmm.
Better.
They're right. They're right there with him. Because the thing is with Auburn. Or I'm sorry.
Penn State,
I'm sorry. With A&M. I'm thinking of Auburn. Never mind. But I'm really high on the Penn State defense. I don't think that defense is as same caliber as Georgia's, but I think that A&M and Penn State are both like really ferocious, good defense that they're going to give you a chance to win if your offense struggles, which has been the case for both those teams.
Well, the tiebreaker will be the common opponent.
Do they play anybody the same team?
Auburn.
Oh, that's right.
Auburn put up 20.
That's right.
Yeah. They only put up 3 on A&M.
This is different. The difference, though, is
in the whiteout game.
By the whiteout game, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the difference of what Bo Nix shows up to, right?
Which what?
Which Bo Nix shows up. Because that's
which defense is stopping him. I mean, you got to give credit to the defenses that stop him, too.
Either way, I think.
Right now.
Matchups matter. I'm trying to think back because I mean that I can't remember if the Auburn defense might have scored any touchdowns in that game too, or got any turnovers deep. That matters too, right? Like you get a deep,
but I don't.
You can't think because like you look at the score and you'd be like, oh, like the defense gave up 20 points. It's like nah,
that was a really good game.
It was.
State. Yeah, it was. In Auburn, it was a really good game.
So I don't remember all the back and forth that happened with it, but either way, I think the A&M defense has really done itself or shown itself to play really well. I think pretty highly of the Penn State defense. But I think the Georgia is the top one for sure, and then they're in that next echelon or that next level down. Is those two defenses. Like I would like if you told me, hey, you got to pick one of those defenses, I'd be happy with either one of them. The other one that I was really impressed with too early on was the Arkansas defense.
Yes. They rattled A&M.
Because that's one of their losses, right? But to your point, like you've been making since week 1, that was a different Calzada.
Yeah, and now he's got confidence, first string reps, individual time with Fisher. It makes a difference.
The thing that was impressive to me about the Arkansas defense was their front, though. I mean, they got 3-man front, and they were getting pressure with 3 guys. Man, it's like that's.
Well, Arkansas is good. I mean, that's a good team.
Yeah,
and they're building.
Yeah.
So yeah.
As far as defenses goes, Georgia for sure is.
Oh,
they were playing, and they're.
I
think they were playing without one of their top guys who got in some trouble.
Their linebackers, for rape, allegations, but Georgia may be the best defense of all time.
Now, I can see that because. I mean, we've talked about like defenses 20 years ago, and you had I formations, everything was closed off. Now with the spread, like people don't like what teams will do now is they're going to spread you out, not because they're trying to throw the ball, but because they're going to run the ball. Like that's a whole another thing. And then like, the athletes out in space. So like they're putting athletes out in space. It's like moving the ball up and down now. It's like the offense has an advantage. Compared to what offenses were doing 20 years ago, just scoring enough points. Now it's like you have to be able to outscore your opponents. That's the name of the game now. Like with up-tempo offenses, that is the norm. Getting all these plays off, being able to get it out to athletes out in space, and there's usually enough athletes. You have to have a good enough offensive line to do that. Running quarterbacks, everybody's got a running quarterback now, right? Like now it's like if you can't run, it's like you know, that kid's not going to be at a big time program for the most part. So the deck is stacked against defenses now. You have RPOs, all these things. Offenses, I think, have the advantage. When Georgia is just dismantling these teams, whoever it is,
they can't score on them, and it makes their offense look much better than it really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because they win the field position game all the time.
And I think I might have seen one of their like big boy defensive ends pick it up and return it for a touchdown. I think it was that game.
I'm looking forward to the SEC championship game, because you also got to say which Bama team shows up. The Bama that's lit up Miami, or the Bama that struggled against LSU, or the Bamas whose defense got lit up by Florida, who got lit up by South Carolina,
or Ole Miss.
Or Ole Miss.
No. I'm thinking of the old Ole Miss. You're right. I'm thinking of the old Ole Miss.
Ole Miss didn't do anything.
But still, the A&M lit them up, though. Oh, man.
Oh, gosh, A&M lit them up. The secondary was just atrocious in that game. But Bama, here's what impressed me about Bama. They lose like double-digit guys every year. So they're always reloading, and they're reloading with youngsters. So they have freshmen, sophomores, and they're going to make mistakes, especially on defense.
Yeah, the thing is, I think, like you can't keep track of those guys because they're constantly going to the league, constantly. So it's like, oh, which 4 or 5 star is in there? Well, it's like, well, yeah, you got a 4 or 5 star there, but like, yeah, he's a freshman or a sophomore. Like he's still got enough. He's still like
it's his first year playing, starting.
And it's like, well, they got talent. It was like, well, yeah, I mean, young talent isn't the same as experienced talent, and
so they never get experienced talent.
And the quarterback, I mean, Bryce Young, he's still a freshman, man. You forget, you just see him make these moves, and you expect him to be as savvy as a redshirt junior or senior. And it's like, well, this kid's really savvy, and he's still a freshman. He's only going to get better.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting. Let's go. Next game was Arkansas over Mississippi State. They won 31-28. Mississippi State, I think, is just a dangerous team with what Mike Leach runs. Arkansas, I think, is kind of climbing back up after that brutal stretch. But I mean, even then, though, playing Mississippi State, like that's no slouch.
Well, Mississippi State had 2 kickers miss I don't know how many field goals, but it was bad enough where Leach, I think he either did this on a pregame show or postgame show or put out an ad trying out kickers.
No, he didn't.
Anybody can come. He did address it to the student body. Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh.
He's not happy with the field goal kickers.
No. Well, that's tough too, because usually now, if you know that your kicker is struggling,
you're going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, you're going for it instead of like, hey, let's go and get our points and play defense again. It's like, okay, now we're either gonna get something on this play and keep it rolling, or that's it.
Mississippi State should have won the game, but they didn't have a field goal kicker, and the field goal kicker is part of the team. So Arkansas is better. They had a better kicker.
Yeah, it matters. I mean, we had Georgia rolling again. I don't remember who they were even playing, but it was just
Missouri, 43-6. Right. I think was this. Just absolutely dismantled them.
Yeah,
it was like an alligator watching the zebras come into their water in Africa. They just take a snap and they just do the turn and it's over.
Yeah, get the gator chomp and then just drag him in the water.
Drag him in the water. You're mine.
In there.
Yeah.
Dinner is served.
Mercy, none.
Oh man, this is an impressive Georgia team. I mean, I think we'll get to them more once we talk the playoffs. Your favorite team, Cincinnati, 20.
Not my favorite team.
Over Tulsa.
Struggled against Tulsa. Not only they struggle, the fumble at the goal line.
Yeah, at the goal line.
Yes.
Now they like. The fumble at the goal line is one thing. They would have had to go for the 2-point conversion, and
I don't know if they would have made it.
Yeah, exactly. But still, that it's that close. I mean, you shouldn't be struggling against Tulsa. If you're on the outside of the Power 5 conferences,
and you're trying to make a case,
and you know the beauty pageant. This is not helping your case for the beauty pageant.
No. The only thing helping them right now is Notre Dame keeps winning.
It's almost like a loss, right?
They're not counting it that though.
Not counting it, but like in my mind, in
They're
your
up.
mind, right? It's just like well, like you have Alabama barely beating LSU. Well, that's LSU. I mean, they got dogs there. Whereas Cincinnati's trying to get it to the dance and
and struggling with Tulsa
on a goal line fumble. It's not a good look. Like I get, winning football games.
But they moved up a rank. They moved up one.
Yeah. But
here's the thing. Behind Cincinnati is Oklahoma, who now gets to play ranked team. So let's see what the committee does with that.
Oklahoma. My boy Caleb Williams. So Cincinnati, I mean, the beauty pageant, they're not winning it. I think that's gonna come
and they play South Florida this week, so
whatever. They don't have that. North Carolina upsetting Wake Forest.
I mean, was it really an upset?
The ACC is another crappy conference. It's worse than the Pac-12.
No, that's impossible. Number one,
it's worse than the Pac-12.
No. In fact, you throw North Carolina, Wake Forest, or even North Carolina State or Virginia, they're going to score 100 points on the Pac-12 team. They may give up a lot, but they're going to score a whole lot of points.
The point is to win the game.
They're going to win. And now throw in Miami. This is an offensive-minded – Clemson's in trouble because all these teams are putting up 30, 40 points a game. Wake Forest is putting up like 50 points a game.
Listen, I came to peace with the Pac-12 not being good for a while. The ACC.
Well, you had no choice.
The ACC is worse than the Pac-12 this year. You need to admit it. Yes, it is.
Really? How many ranked teams are in the Pac-12? Let's just end this right now.
I think it was like two or three.
No, it's not three.
I said 2 or 3.
It's not 2 or 3.
All right, let's go.
Oregon and nothing.
I think Utah is in there.
Utah might have just entered for the first time last week.
24 Utah.
Okay, so y'all want to, oh my God.
Yeah, buddy.
Terrible. My gosh, you got a terrible conference.
Listen, Wake Forest, get out of here.
Wake Forest is there.
Oregon would dominate Wake Forest.
Okay, that's one.
Utah would dominate.
No, Utah can't even beat BYU. Shut up. Next.
Well, neither could Virginia.
Virginia's not one of the top teams in the ACC. They're just a team that scores a lot of points in the ACC. They're not ranked.
Beat like a drum.
Who cares?
And the Utah team that BYU played Utah didn't have their quarterback.
Oh, we're going to make excuses.
It was a different quarterback.
For another loss.
Listen.
Unbelievable.
You talk about Calzada being the new guy. Mm-hmm. Utah switched Utah switch quarterbacks.
Okay,
that's a big
switching
deal.
Quarterbacks is not injuring a quarterback. That's your quarterback sucks, so you got him out.
Well, either way, he's a second stringer.
What? It's the same team with the same group of people, and they just got him out because he wasn't doing
the first team quarterback for Texas A&M could have not been good. That happens.
We'll
it's like
never
you switch a quarterback. You never know.
Never know. But we know about Utah.
But we know Utah is better now than
stuck.
No,
That's
they don't.
What we know.
No, they don't.
That's what
Utah would have a feast.
What's Utah's record?
They're like 6-3, 6-2.
My gosh, you would stop.
Powerful BYU team.
Powerful BYU team that wasn't even ranked a week ago.
Well,
stop.
Who, BYU?
Yeah,
BYU's been ranked.
They have been ranked, but they got knocked out the rankings.
Oh no, they're in.
They've been ranked the whole entire year.
They're number 14 in the college football playoff
right now.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
They got 2 losses or 3 losses.
Like the college football player doesn't have their record on here.
Why are they ranked? They're 4-0 against the Pac-12.
Yeah, they should have joined. I mean, they should have joined the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is stupid for not doing that. What am I looking for? BYU?
They'd be in the Rose Bowl every year if they joined the Pac-12.
How about every year?
And that's not even saying anything.
Where the heck is BYU? Top 25. All right, let me go to CBS Sports because they got it laid out. BYU is 8-2, my friend.
I mean, they lost to Baylor. And who
8
else?
and 2.
Who they lose to? Baylor and who?
Um,
As soon as they play somebody ranked, they lose.
they lost to Baylor 38-24.
And who else?
And Boise.
I mean, why are we talking? And Boise. Seriously?
Man,
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Boise?
No, I'm not even saying playoffs. I'm talking better than the ACC. See, you try to switch the conversation.
Trash. That they're gonna go into the
BYU
Big 12
is trash
and get destroyed. My
Big
gosh.
12? No,
Against and that's a mediocre conference out without Oklahoma. Baylor just beat them. Come on, man. You think Baylor's that good?
I mean, they beat who did they beat? They beat a couple of guys. Where are they at right now?
BYU ain't beating nobody.
Baylor.
Name a ranked team BYU beat.
Baylor's 18 in the AP.
Name a ranked team BYU beat.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
They play one ranked team.
Well, yeah. Are you talking about right now or when they played them? Because that happens
right now. Because the rankings at the beginning of the year are absolutely garbage. But even if you
name a team that Wake Forest has beat that's ranked.
Nobody.
Okay.
So I'm not riding on Wake Forest. I knew they weren't going undefeated.
I'm not riding on I'm riding that the ACC sucks, and you won't admit it.
I think Wake Forest would put up 100 on BYU. But go ahead. But in fact, I'll even give you a ranked team that they beat when they at the time. Who?
The ACC.
Who has BYU beaten? That's ranked.
Utah.
Utah wasn't ranked when they played them.
Well, they're ranked now. So you try to change it from who's ranked now, and then
you know why they're ranked now? You know why they're ranked now?
They beat ASU.
Wait, you know why they're ranked now? They played the Pac-12. That's why so Utah runs the table against the Pac-12, and you think they're good? They're just as good as BYU. The Pac-12 sucks.
The thing is, the ACC is worse. You're in denial right now.
Sure.
You're in denial.
Sure. Anyway, move on. Pac-12 sucks.
Yes, it does. Well, hey, but Oregon's might be dancing.
Man,
the ACC has the door shut.
Yeah, and for the last 7 years, you have not been dancing.
Okay, but this year we might be dancing.
Well, you might be dancing every year, but you don't. So let's see what happens. And it's always Oregon, and like you said, Oregon's gonna lose.
North Carolina upset Wake Forest. So yeah, we talked about we're kind of talking about that right now.
Yeah,
55. The basketball. I mean, it's a basketball conference right now. 55 to 50.
No defense. Yeah.
Yep. Alabama surviving LSU.
You know, they're an enigma because it's like their defense, which has been a weak spot, really stepped up to come through in that game. And in the offense, which has been their strength, I mean, the running back, Robinson, did nothing.
For Bama?
Yeah, I mean, they shut him down. They had zero running game. So LSU stepped up, and it was at Bama.
Mm-hmm. Well, the LSU quarterback is tough, man. That kid gets smacked around, and he gets back up. That's Brad Johnson's son, the quarterback from Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's his son. He's tough. He's a tough kid, man. He takes some shots. He takes some absolute shots. And you're just like, man, I don't know if he's gonna get it. And he pops right back up. I mean, I think that's the difference. Not the difference, but like the Calzada kid was running and was trying to give the defender the business. And he got hurt. He got back up, and you're like, oh, like I saw it when the play happened. The Calzada kid, I was like, man, that's a tough hit. You don't want your quarterback taking that. And he got back up, and he was walking back to the huddle. I was like, oh, he's good. And then he wasn't good. I was like, oh shoot, man, like that'd be a big loss if he got hurt again. Because I think the guy that came in was a preferred walk-on freshman. I think Calzada came back and finished the game. But still, like that might be game time adrenaline. And then
he because I saw when he got hurt and he got that stinger, his shoulder went dead. He went to the huddle, and all of a sudden, it's almost like he was spazzing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope he's good. And let's get. I wanted to talk about this one for a while. We've been waiting for this, the college football playoff. Let me pull this up. Where am I at? Share. Boom. So we got Georgia 1, Bama 2, 3, Oregon, 4, Ohio State. I'm digging it, man. It's pretty good. I think maybe the one thing I might adjust as of now is I'd probably flip Oklahoma for Ohio State.
No, I wouldn't flip them because Oklahoma has no signature. I wouldn't put Oklahoma at 8.
The Texas win lost its luster pretty quick.
Yeah, so Oklahoma has no signature wins.
Who does Ohio State have though?
I mean, Penn State's a signature win.
Yeah, that's true. I like Penn State. Yep.
Penn State's signature win. Yep. And Ohio State will, if they run the table, they're gonna have 2 more signature wins coming up with the number 6 and 7th ranked teams on their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's going to happen? Let me give you a scenario. Assuming Alabama beats Georgia, which is like that's a big assumption. So there's 2 scenarios. Mm-hmm. The scenario where Alabama beats Georgia, right? If Ohio State runs the table, and Oregon runs the table, and Oklahoma runs the table, and now you kind of like got a 3-way tie, not a 2-way tie, right? You got a 3-way tie between Oregon, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. Then you don't go head-to-head matchup between Oregon and Ohio State. You go out of those 3 who has the best strength of schedule in a 3-way tie. And that would put Oregon out because they don't have nobody. But they do have a signature win with Ohio State, Oklahoma, but they wouldn't have no other ranked wins. Then not Cincinnati, then Ohio State would have went through Michigan and Michigan State and Penn State, and Oklahoma to just a slightly higher level than the nastiness that Oregon plays. They beat Baylor and Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. So Oklahoma State losing that game and not being undefeated actually hurt Oklahoma.
Yeah, and they needed them to be.
Yeah, because right now Oklahoma State
they're at 10 right now. That's really good.
So 10 and 13, those are good wins, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then 6 and 7 are good wins for Ohio State. Oregon has a win from 4, and if they beat Utah,
Penn State. Where's Penn State? Oh, they're dropped out, I think already.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Dropped out, right? But you got Michigan State on the horizon. Cincinnati's gonna have, but see Cincinnati, I just don't see them. I don't see a path for them unless everybody loses again.
That's it. Really.
Yeah.
Everybody has to lose.
Now, so here's what helps everybody. Alabama losing to Georgia.
Because they'll be eliminated. If they lose, I think they're eliminated.
They would be eliminated.
That'd be their second loss.
Yeah.
And it'd be too late to make up for it.
Then you can have Oregon, Ohio State, and Oklahoma in there if they all run the table. But here's a question. So let's say, and here's a scenario that can legitimately happen. Georgia beats Bama. Bama has 2 losses. Ohio State runs the table. Oklahoma runs the table.
Oregon loses
to Utah. So now Oregon's out. You got Ohio State in, you got Oklahoma in, and now you're looking at Bama again and Cincinnati. And
before you get there, say the scenario. Who do you want in there?
Alabama.
That 4th spot. Me too.
I don't want Cincinnati in there.
I guess really it would depend on how the game played out too, right? If it was a close loss.
Let's say it's a close loss. But Bama's got 2 losses.
Yeah.
And Oregon's got 2 losses.
Because I think what ends up happening is Notre Dame goes in again.
Because you got because Notre Dame lost to Cincinnati. That dog can't hunt if you lost to Cincinnati. You can't jump Cincinnati if you lost to
Um,
them.
that's a good
Right?
point. That's a good point.
You just made a case for Cincinnati right there.
Oh man, that'd be awful.
Yeah. And Cincinnati would come in at 4. Georgia gets a bye in the first round. And they'll say, well, Georgia struggled with them in a Sugar Bowl. Yeah, when they could care less about the game.
Yeah, everybody's trying to go
That
to the
ain't the
league. Yeah,
playoffs.
yeah. Yeah, there's man, I would think you'd like to see like A&M go back in there.
A&M has no path.
Nope. I know. I'm just saying from a football matchup, like, okay,
Yeah.
if Bama's not in there, you get Oklahoma and Ohio State in there.
A&M with Arkansas messed up A&M.
They did. And that's a good, I mean, that's a good, I think Arkansas is a good football team.
It is. But Alabama has a good loss. A&M has a good loss. So and this is what you also look at.
Well, A&M has two losses.
Okay, so A&M's out. You're right. A&M's out. But Alabama has a good loss to A&M. Oregon has a bad loss
to Stanford.
Yep. Ohio State has a good loss to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan and Michigan State have good losses. Well, Michigan.
Purdue. I mean, Purdue's, I guess you could call it a good loss.
Well, wait, Michigan State does not have a good loss. I'm
they
sorry.
lost to Michigan State or Purdue.
That's not a good loss.
Purdue's number 19.
Okay. So Purdue will be gone Saturday. This is a very fluid rank. Yeah. Purdue will be gone and Utah might be gone, okay? before they play for the Pac-12 title.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get that straight.
I think I like the top 4. I think is perfect where it is right now. If we're looking at the snapshot, which is what they say they try to do. I was surprised Michigan State didn't drop farther back. Oklahoma at 8. I don't really like that. I think they should be higher. But I
think they should be 5 personally, but okay.
Yeah,
But if I'm gonna knock the Pac-12 for strength of schedule, then I gotta knock Oklahoma too. Because if that was Oregon at 8, I'd be saying, of course, look what they proved they play. Well, Oklahoma ain't played nobody.
I mean, that would be the case if they hadn't played Ohio State, but they did.
No, I know, but they did, and they won, right? Yeah. So that's why they're there.
Oklahoma hasn't had a chance to play
because they haven't played anybody. That's why. Yeah. And the people that they played earlier, they struggle with. Now, this is a different Oklahoma team, so they're peaking at the right time to play the bulk of their schedule, but the bulk of their schedule only includes Baylor and Oklahoma State. I don't know who else they have left.
Do they do a Big 12 championship game still? I can't remember. I know they added it, so they might get a chance to play.
So they'll play Oklahoma State twice, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you dilute it if you beat them before because they're gonna be dropped. Upcoming games again. Let's see. I have Michigan versus Penn State. I think Penn State wins this game.
Where's it at?
Oh, good question. It is at Penn State.
Ooh, I think they can too. Yeah, I agree with you.
That defense, again, like I said, it's a salty defense. I mean, the offense still, but yeah, the whatever Michigan is, I don't think they played a defense the caliber of. Well, I think most teams haven't played the caliber of defense that Penn State brings. So I'm gonna go with Penn State on that one. I'm just a fan of what they do over there, though. So there's part of that. I mean, I'd like Michigan to be what Michigan's supposed to be, but I'm not sold. Oklahoma versus Baylor.
Where's that game at?
Let's see. That is at Baylor.
Baylor could. Ooh.
This is an early game too, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So that's like a noon.
9 a.m. Pacific.
Noon kickoff time. That's not that bad.
I like Oklahoma, but I think Baylor can win that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That would eliminate Oklahoma, by the way. Oklahoma has to go undefeated to get in.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But again, if other teams lose, I mean, I could see.
Everybody ain't losing.
No, I know everybody's not losing,
Yeah.
but
the only team, as weird as this sounds, this is going to sound weird, but you're going to agree. The team with the best shot of losing is Bama when they play Georgia.
mm-hmm.
All of the CFP is going to be rooting, not the committee, but college football will be rooting for Georgia because they need Alabama to have 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want 2 SEC.
Now think about it. So Georgia, say Bama beats Georgia,
Then they both are in.
They're both in. Yeah,
Georgia's in regardless. Yeah.
You think so? We're at that point, huh?
Oh yeah, they're at that point. Yeah.
I think I have to agree with that. They'll get, and plus, well, they'll get another.
As long as they're undefeated going into that game.
Yeah. Do they have any rivalry games outside of that? Because I mean, we're really basically assuming they're going to play in the SEC.
They got to go into the mighty ACC and play Georgia Tech. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way. Yes.
Ohio State, Purdue.
You know what? Cinderella. It's midnight.
Midnight.
Purdue ain't doing this. Purdue is now going to play a legitimate top 5 team.
Yeah. This isn't Michigan State.
No. Or Iowa.
Yeah. So this is gonna be I think this will be a really good game. A&M Ole Miss.
It's gonna be a great game. Yes, it will. I'm gonna give it to Ole Miss because you know what A&M has done though? They've transformed their running game. They got 2 really good running backs, Akins and Spiller. Both of them. Yeah. So the defense is tough, but Mississippi puts up points. And I don't know if Calzado's not playing, A&M's gonna have to play flawless defense to practically throw a shutout.
Yeah, that's a lot to
ask.
He
is playing. How healthy is he?
Yeah.
And actually, Calzado, he's tough, but he hasn't impressed only in that Alabama game.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're still close games, right? It's not like they take charge on offense and you see like, oh yeah,
because their defense keeps them in the game.
Yeah. Well, you know what was he a freshman, sophomore?
Who?
Calzada.
I think he's a sophomore.
He's still really young.
Yeah.
They're leaning on that defense for sure.
They have
with him out or not at 100%.
I'm going Mississippi. Yeah.
You gotta have that. You gotta have the quarterback play at a high level, especially to keep up with Ole Miss. What did Ole Miss? Because they played Arkansas. They put up points on Arkansas.
They put up points on everybody.
Yeah. Well,
they put up points on Bama in garbage time. So but Mississippi scores.
Yeah.
Were they 10th in the country or something? That's a good team.
Oh yeah. They're up there, top 15, top 10. The last game that I have written here is Mississippi State, Auburn.
Where? Starkville or in or Auburn?
Let's see.
Where's the Alabama Auburn game at, by the way?
Hold on. Auburn. This is at Jordan Hare, so Auburn.
Are you looking at Auburn's schedule?
I can pull it up.
Yeah.
Oh, it says TBD for some reason.
What's TBD?
The Alabama game.
Is it a neutral site?
That'd be strange.
TBD as far as to be determined as far as the time. What's the date?
No, this is it's at Jordan Hare, so Auburn.
Okay, so it's at Auburn. What day?
The 27th. Was that the Saturday?
So Bama plays New Mexico and then has a bye and then plays Auburn. Is that how that works?
Schedule. Where's their schedule?
I mean, they're taking 2 weeks to prepare for Auburn on that one.
Man, they set up themselves up so well. Schedule.
Props to the AD on that one.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you can't be mad at them at all.
No, they knew when to schedule that. While everybody else was playing New Mexico, they were playing Miami. So
So they go New Mexico on the 13th. No, there's no bye week. So they go New Mexico. Next week they go Arkansas, and then they go Auburn. So there's no bye week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I would not want to be playing Arkansas before Auburn.
That's a trap game.
Yeah. Now that's not even a trap game. That's just a big game. There's no
I
trap
know,
there.
but that's a tough game. You can't look ahead.
No, I know. That's what I mean. That's not a trap game. That's a you're gonna buckle up your chin straps. You gotta come and play, and then you gotta buckle up your chin straps again and play.
It's the SEC.
Yeah.
Where do they play Arkansas?
At home, Bryant Denny.
Okay. Still, LSU could have beaten you there. So interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You forget about that, right? It's like you were expecting the Georgia Bama SEC championship game, but those last 2 weeks, that's a tough stretch. And this is not an invincible Bama team. This is a good team for sure, the top of college football, but it's a vulnerable team.
Yeah, because if they lose another game, A&M plays Georgia, and Alabama's out.
That's what I mean. That would create a path for A&M.
Not to the playoffs, no.
You sure about that?
Pretty sure.
Because I mean, we're just looking at that one lane. I'm
you 50, got undefeated teams, man.
I'm 50-50 that Oregon will lose.
Okay, so let's say Oregon loses.
Uh-huh. And say Bama loses, and then A&M wins against Georgia. That's a huge
with Calzado. Interesting.
Yeah, that's huge, right? Because you're saying like an offense that struggles.
Okay, you know what?
Offense that struggles against,
you got to consider them.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a huge.
Two loss A&M that beat Bama and Georgia. You got to consider that.
Yeah. But then a quarter like an offense that struggles to score, putting up enough points against probably one of the greatest defenses of all time.
Yeah. You know what? If I'm a gambler, I take the under in that game.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, take the under. So that's a tough stretch. But yeah, going back Mississippi State, Auburn. I would go lean Auburn on that one.
Man, I can't call that one. I mean, Mississippi State gets a field goal kicker. They're a different team, so I don't know.
The thing was, I think Auburn's defense is better than Bama's.
Bama's defense is hit and miss. I mean, I watched the LSU game. They stepped up when they had to make stops.
The thing was, LSU they have guys out now.
I know.
With their top receiver Butte, he's been out for a few weeks. He's a difference maker.
But they pressured Johnson. They made open field tackles.
But the thing, it's easier to pressure guys when you don't have a guy that's a top caliber guy. Like
because then you got because now you got coverage sacks.
Yeah. So now it's like, okay, we can play one-on-one, or we can bring more pressure because this stud is not there. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anything else? Who's Miami playing? They've had their bye week already.
Check. I don't know.
Huge Miami Hurricanes fan here, folks.
I mean, we play Pitt, we play North Carolina, play Georgia Tech. Dang, I don't know. I think it's a cross divisional. Oh, Florida State, I think.
Oof.
What?
Man, that conference is terrible.
I think Florida State.
Yep, Miami, Florida State. This used to be one of the biggest matchups of all time. It'd be all over ESPN, and now it's
still is.
Oof.
Still is.
Oof.
Yep. This is for the state of Florida. This is the first time in, I don't know, since BC, where a Florida team ain't ranked. Miami, Florida State ain't ranked.
That's true.
Yeah.
Eesh.
My, oh, my. I think Jesus is coming back. That's a sign.
A hotbed of one of the hotbeds of college football.
Yeah.
Not a one of them.
But here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to harp on Miami, but right now, this is pros and cons. They're playing the freshmen are stepping up now.
Mm-hmm.
James Williams, Knighton, and Van Dyke are doing phenomenal. And now they're winning games. So they're getting some momentum.
Because they're playing ACC games.
Well, they're non-conference game. Well, they lost to Michigan. They lost to the number 7th ranked team, and they lost to the number 2 ranked team in the country. So, and struggle with Appalachian State. You know, we're struggling even in the ACC. We're just winning.
There was a game where you were like, we're going to lose this game. And there was like a lucky. No, there was a missed field goal too in there.
That was against Virginia. We missed the field goal.
That was, yeah. So it's 3 losses. Okay. I knew there was something in there.
No, we got 4 losses. We started off 2-4. We're 4-4 now.
Let's see.
We started off 2-4. There's a path to win the Coastal Division. We're on the table. Other people losing.
Yeah, you lost to Alabama, won at Appalachian State barely, lost to Mississippi State or Michigan State. Then you played somebody called CCSU. I don't know who that is, but
remember we beat them like 6-3-0.
Great job beating CCSU. So
community
college.
No, it doesn't mean that.
Central
College. Connecticut. It was
Community College of Central
Connecticut. Okay, get it right. Don't disrespect them. They're right.
Virginia, and then you lost to Virginia, North Carolina, and then the mighty upset over North Carolina State.
Mm-hmm. And Pitt.
And then Pitt.
Yes. By the way, 2 ranked teams.
It's at the point though. It's just like, well, we don't have anywhere else to put these guys, so let's just They found a place to put Texas San Antonio. So no, that doesn't work that way. George. Well, that's why they're there too. There's nobody else there. So everybody keeps losing. Let's just move these guys up.
Yeah.
So so 5-4.
Who's 5-4?
Miami's 5-4 right now.
Oh, so if we win, 6-4. Boom. Getting ready for next year. Hopefully,
Manny Diaz getting that renewed contract.
No. I'm hoping that's the con of this. I didn't want to see Urban Meyer beat Buffalo. Okay. So now it's like, okay, so you're staying. So, I don't think it's going to happen. I said earlier, Cristobal, I don't see any reason for him to leave Oregon. I would love to get Hugh Freeze out of Liberty.
That's a good pickup. That'd be a good pickup. Hugh Freeze is good. I mean, he's got Liberty has made appearance in the top 25. I mean, we talk about
they have a good quarterback.
Not having anybody ranked, so you just kind of throw him in there. But that says a lot. I mean, and what you forget that when he was at Ole Miss, like they were rolling, and he could recruit down in the SEC. Yeah. The only competition you really have in the ACC for recruiting is Dabo.
Yep.
That's the kind of coach you need. Like you'd love to have a guy like Urban Meyer, but you're not going to get Urban Meyer. But you could get Hugh Freeze. It's a step back up into the big leagues.
But will they pay for Hugh Freeze? Is the thing.
The thing is, he's got baggage where you wouldn't have to pay him crazy amounts of money.
We'll see.
That's what I mean. Because other than that, I was watching Setting Dykes over at SMU. Thing with him though is he struggled at Cal.
Keep that SMU Cincinnati game on your schedule. SMU can put.
Did they play yet? I thought they played.
Nope. SMU just lost to Houston.
Houston's solid. They're solid for that conference.
So they got to play, and if they play in their conference championship game, it will probably be against Houston, unless SMU pulls off an upset.
They do have a conference. Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah. So Cincinnati ain't out the water yet. They're struggling with these other teams, but they got still Houston possibly and SMU on their schedule.
You know what? That actually makes me like them a little bit.
Like who?
Cincinnati.
What do you mean?
Like my opinion of them is here, but if they were to beat Houston, SMU, and then go to their conference championship and win that, say, oh, okay, like those are some okay teams. Like
if they don't make okay teams, but if they don't make the playoffs, they're headed to the Sugar Bowl. So here's what they're looking to play. More than likely, a like 2-loss Alabama team.
Oof.
Or probably A&M.
A&M, I think, would have more invested in that game than Bama.
Yeah, I wouldn't even count I wouldn't put it past Cincinnati beating
Alabama. But people always do that, right? It's like, oh, Oklahoma lost to whoever in the Sugar Bowl, and it's like, dude, these guys are they're all checked out for this game.
Yeah.
They always put like this little underdog
after you lose to Georgia. I mean, it's like playing the NFC Championship game, and then you're going to play the loser of the AFC Championship game, and you expect to be present for that. No.
Yeah.
If Alabama loses to Georgia and goes to the Sugar Bowl, Saban will do his best to have them ready, but I would not be surprised if Cincinnati wins that game.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would be surprised if they beat A&M.
Because somebody did that, and it was like, okay, no big deal. But I think it was like Houston a few years ago. They played Oklahoma in like the second game of the regular season. And it's like, yeah, like that was more credible to me than a bowl game, because it was like, we're in the middle of the season. You have to win it at the end when we're playing for the playoffs.
I think it was Cincinnati that beat Georgia in a bowl game in the Sugar Bowl.
Did they?
Yeah. And I think Utah did it once also. Yeah. Before they went to the Pac-12.
That might have been Urban Meyer, Utah.
No,
it was Urban. Yeah, that was Urban Meyer when he at the Fiesta Bowl. I remember that. So they played Pitt. That was Larry Fitzgerald's Pitt team.
They played but they played a Georgia team too.
That was later, yeah.
But Georgia wasn't invested.
The Urban Meyer one though was before he jumped to Florida. I remember that, and that was Alex Smith. But yeah, it's all about incentives or motivation too in the bowl games. That's why it's like if you won in the playoff, it's different than, hey, team just lost and now the motivation is all gone. And now the big thing too is like, hey, stars will even pull themselves out beforehand and not even playing the game. Like I know the McCaffrey kid, Stanford wins like the Rose Bowl or something, and he's like, I'm gonna sit it out. It's like, oh, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, man? I feel like we caught up from missing last week too. I missed you.
I miss you attacking me, and bullying me for an entire hour. I missed that.
Yeah, you like it.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, UCLA plays Colorado.
Yeah, okay. So it was really nice seeing you again.
Yeah. That's good.
That's like talking about minor league baseball. Come on, man.
UCLA would destroy Miami. That's the game that needs to. That would be a great bowl game. I would be invested in.
Are you guys gonna be bowl eligible?
We got to win. We got three. We got Colorado, SC and Cal.
There are no ACC Pac-12 contracts.
I know. Yeah.
Because I would love for that to happen. Actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The bowl games for the Pac-12 the bowl.
You're all contracted with the Big Ten.
Yeah.
About your bowl. So
they suck. I mean, it's outside from the Rose Bowl. They're not
what's your
very
Rose Bowl
good.
going to be potentially? Utah. Because Oregon's either making the playoffs, and if Utah's going to the Rose Bowl regardless. You know that? They beat Oregon, they go to the Rose Bowl. They lose to Oregon, they go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So you're going to see an Oregon versus Michigan or Michigan State. I mean, Utah versus Michigan or Michigan State.
Yeah, the Big 12.
Who's watching that crap?
I wouldn't watch it.
And then the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, or the
because I think we go Rose Bowl. And I think Holiday Bowl is our next bowl.
oh, it's terrible.
Yeah,
So
that's
and
what I
then
mean. It sucks.
and so the Cotton Bowl. I mean, the
Who's your
you're
guys?
gonna have
Because you guys go Orange Bowl. Who's your next? What's your next bowl?
Chick-fil-A, I think, or Peach Bowl. Some New who cares
Yeah,
at that point?
yeah. That's
You
the
have
thing though,
ACC
because
versus SEC matchups, which means that's gonna be interesting. Defense versus offense. But the bowls, but it doesn't matter. Those bowl games don't matter. That's the thing.
mm-hmm.
Some of them might be entertaining, but I don't really watch them. I wait for the playoffs.
Well, of course you wait for the playoffs, but you want them to be entertaining. They should be entertaining. I think they need to find a way to create better matchups and have those kind of paired up.
Knock the contracts out and just get and have almost like have a seating system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and go that route.
Because you got to make it more. I think you got to make it more entertaining, not only for the eyeballs, but just for the fans, right? Because it's like I'm check like I'm gonna look for the matchups. It's like, oh, this looks like be a fun game to watch, and then I'm gonna go from there. And a lot of the bowl games for the Pac-12, like they're not the outside of the Rose Bowl, they're not like teams that I really want to watch play.
No, I don't want to watch UCLA versus Air Force.
But you'd watch UCLA Miami.
I'd watch that only because of you and some other UCLA fans.
I think no, but the thing is, like, you got
if I wasn't a Miami fan, I would not have any interest in that game.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But it would be nice. It would be nice because the ACC sucks. The Pac-12 is not very good. So, at least you had that going on.
I think you should, at the very least, use the same adjective. Sucks. And take the historical route and bring it all to the present. Sucks.
I'm taking the college football playoff committee and just taking the slice this year.
Okay. Still sucks.
Yeah. All right, man. Always good talking to you, brother.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.